In the last video, we talked about long division of polynomials. We are still going to be talking about division of polynomials, but this time we will not do long division. We're going to use a method called synthetic division. You'll notice that the problem is set up kind of similar to what we saw in the last section. We're dealing with a binomial going into a polynomial. Instead of setting up a long equation or long division format, what we're going to do is I am going to take this -2 and I'm going to do the opposite. So that is going to be a +2. And I'm going to put it in the little corner right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at all the coefficients of the other polynomial. So 3, -2, 5, and 4. And I'm going to write them going across right next to the +2. So 3, -2, 5, and 4. I'm going to draw a line underneath it, and I'm going to drop down the 3. From there, I'm going to multiply this 2 by this 3, and I'm going to get 6. So multiply this and this, and it equals 6, and it goes underneath there. So there's the multiplication step that we talked about. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add it together. And that's going to give us 4. And then I'm going to repeat that process. I'm going to take the 4, I'm going to multiply it by the 2. That's going to give me 8. I'm going to add that together, and I'm going to give you, it's going to give me 13. And I'm going to multiply the 2 times the 13. That's going to give me 26. That's going to go up here. That gives me 30. From there, this last number is called the remainder. And that's going to go over the divisor just like we did before. So it's going to be 30 over x minus 2. And then I kind of think of it as backwards. That 13 is my constant. That 4 has my first degree term, so 4x. And that 3 will be 3x squared. This kind of cuts out some of the things. The -2, or taking the opposite of it, kind of takes away the subtraction, so that's why we're adding. And it kind of shortcuts kind of the division part of it. One thing to note, when I'm doing this, I'm noticing that it's a binomial and the coefficient is 1. Now, there are tricks to kind of deal with the coefficient isn't 1, but we won't be seeing that this chapter. So I'm going to set up number 2 the exact same way. I'm going to put a little box right here. I'm going to use the opposite number, so since that's 1, I'm going to put -1. And I'm going to use my coefficients. There's 1, there's 3, and you'll notice that it skips x squared. So I'm going to put a placeholder, and that placeholder is 0. Then it's going to be -5, and then followed by 4. I drop down the 1, multiply this together. That gives me -1. Add it to give me 2. And then I multiply that to give me -2. I add those. Gives me -2. -2 times -1 is +2. Add it with the -5. It's -3. Multiply by -1. And you get 3. Add that, and I get 7. And then I fill it back in. I have 7 over x plus 1. And then I kind of work backwards. I have my -3, -2x, +2x squared, finally my x cubed.